Alright guys, I'm back again for another video, and I want to talk about the sales of Kirby Air Riders and how the pre-orders for this game has seen a 42% increase in pre-order activity compared to other Nintendo video games. Now this is very huge, and this is from a site called ACO. I believe I've never really heard of them before, but they pretty much look at, analytic data and things of that nature. And according to them, this was on November 21st, the announcement of Kirby Air Riders has triggered a remarkable surge in collector interest, with industry and analysts reporting a 42% increase in pre-order activity compared to standard Nintendo releases. This phenomenon demonstrates how sequel announcements for beloved franchises create immediate market excitement, particularly when tied to exclusive platform launches. The Kirby Air Riders sequel leverages nostalgic appeal combined with modern Nintendo Switch 2 capabilities, driving unprecedented demand among both casual players and dedicated collectors. Now, this is really big news considering all the other great games that the Switch 2 has on it. When you consider the fact that even Mario Kart World has, I believe, a 94% attachment rate to the Nintendo Switch 2, so we know that game is selling a lot. We know that the pre-orders were really high for that game, surely. So that's pretty wild that this game apparently it has seen a 42% increase in pre-order activity compared to these other Nintendo games, and that would include Mario Kart World. That would include Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is another phenomenal game. That would probably even include Pokemon Legends ZA, which of course is like a cross-gen game anyways. So who knows how many people were getting that game for the Switch versus the Switch 2, right? So we could really just look at the other exclusives that are only for the Nintendo Switch 2 and compare Kirby Air Riders to those, which it already has a really good amount. Mario Kart World alone is the biggest Switch 2 game, and the fact that Kirby Air Riders has seemed to have a bigger increase in pre-order activity is pretty damn amazing. And that gives me great hope that this game will pass Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World's a great game. Despite what losers on the internet are going to say about it, they don't really reflect the majority of people in real life. And that's been proven time and time again. It seems like Nintendo has made it their mission to prove to everybody how insignificant losers on the internet are and how they just, they really just do not live in reality whatsoever. And we're seeing that with the sales of the Switch 2, and we're seeing it with the sales of the games as well. So it's really great, it's really awesome. And even though Mario Kart World is a phenomenal game, this game is even better. It's way better than Mario Kart World, and it definitely deserves to outsell it. Hopefully it ends up getting like a 98% attachment ratio to it. I really hope it does, but that's to be seen. But it looks there, the signs are here that the game is selling very well. That's a really huge increase in pre-order activity, and considering the fact that it's doing that with games like Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, while may not be the biggest game, that's still a pretty big game, still a popular series. I think the last game sold, 10 million or so copies, or 11 million, and it was like the most successful Hyrule Warrior game. Or it was the most successful Warriors game, period. The most successful one, period. So this is actually really good. Pretty big news. It's great to see that. It's great to see that this game has a huge interest, and I'm sure a lot of that is from Japanese consumers because they were very, very high on this game. But I think even Americans, people in the UK, maybe even in other countries like Europe or France, whatever, they're probably also very interested in this game as well. So this is great news. Now we got another strong indicator that this game is selling very well, and that's the fact that it is a #1 bestseller on Amazon. And as you can see there, in the past month, over 10,000 people have purchased this game on Amazon alone. Amazon is just one of the few major retailers. You also got Target, Walmart, of course there's GameStop itself, Best Buy, Costco. You have many other big retailers, and it's very curious to see how many they're selling of this game. But we at least know that on Amazon, this is one of the best-selling games so far. And this is pretty wild when you take into consideration that this game is selling a lot, not just physically, but it's also selling very well digitally on the Nintendo eShop. So if you actually check the Nintendo eShop right now, it is the #1 best-selling game on the eShop, even after Pokemon Legends ZA. So Pokemon Legends ZA is #2. #3 would be Hyrule Warriors, which came out back in October. So that's a pretty big deal because Legends ZA, we all know that game sold like 6 million freaking copies in its, launch week. And that pissed off a lot of these stupid ass Nintendo haters, but that game sold extremely well. So the fact that Kirby Air Riders is outselling that game right now on the eShop, that's pretty incredible. That's really incredible. And by the way, this is a perfect game to not only purchase physically, but you should also purchase it digitally as well. So if you like having your physical copy the way I do, you should definitely get it physically. But it's also good to get this game again on the eShop, purchase it 2 times, get it physically, then get it digitally. That way you have quick and easy access to the game. I really enjoy that convenience of just being able to play another game and then just X out of it and go straight to Kirby Air Riders. I think that's just freaking awesome. I did the same thing with Super Smash Bros. On the original Nintendo Switch. It's very fun to do that, very convenient. This game is only about 25 gigabytes of storage, so it's totally worth it. It's totally worth getting it again digitally, and apparently a lot of games that are, downloaded digitally and go straight into the internal storage run way better than games on the cartridge. So the game is selling very well. It's selling well everywhere, both physically and digitally, and I cannot wait to see the official sales numbers. A lot of people were downplaying how well it was going to sell. I think a lot of people were predicting it would do 1 million, 2 million, or whatever, and people were doing the same thing for Donkey Kong Bonanza, and that game ended up proving everybody wrong by selling 3.5 million in just 2 months. And that game right now has probably likely surpassed 5 million copies sold total as of right now. So I'm predicting this game, since it's already selling more than Pokemon Legends ZA, which is a really big deal, and it had this huge increase in the pre-orders or whatever, more so than a game like Mario Kart World. I'm really predicting that this game has probably sold about 5 million copies at this point. If I'm wrong, whatever. But I do think it's going to end up selling very well in the long run. I think this game is so fun. I think the word of mouth is going to really carry it. And I could see this game being as successful as Super Smash Bros. Since it's very similar to that game in the fun factor and everything like that, the replayability, the amount of content. It's probably going to sell those kind of numbers. It's probably going to do 30 million or more. I would love to see it do 70 million. I would love to see it surpass Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which if you include the digital sales for that game has done 77 million copies total, probably more at this point. But this game, I really want to see it do 80 million. I want to see it do 100 million copies. And it most definitely can, especially if Nintendo does exactly what they did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, where they kept adding more content to the game over time, kept renewing people's interest in it. That's pretty much why, that's one of the main reasons why the game has sold as many copies as it did, alongside the fact that it's a really great game, it's a really fun multiplayer game. It's really because they just kept adding more content, renewing people's interest in the game. They did the same thing with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Masahiro Sakurai. He kept adding more content, and as a matter of fact, the reason he made this game was because Nintendo and HAL Laboratories requested him to make this game, and he was basically working on more content for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate when that happened. And at first he was kind of reluctant, but eventually, they pretty much convinced him and said, hey, we really want you to make this game. They persuaded him to do so, and that's why the game was made. So, Nintendo definitely loves this video game. They really are high on this game. You can tell by the marketing. They've been marketing the game heavily. I mean, you go to GameStop and there's just banners of this game all over the place. You go on YouTube, no matter which Nintendo YouTube account it is, whether it's for America, Japan, UK, they have been just pumping out, promotional videos of this game, overviews, 30-second trailers. They have been behind this game so much. They are heavily invested in this game. So, to all the stupid asses that want to pretend like Nintendo doesn't like this game, this is a game that Masahiro Sakurai wanted to make, and you know, the only reason he got to is because he, you know, promised to make a Smash game for Nintendo. That's complete bullshit, because if you just watch the first presentation, he literally said that he thought this was just going to be too similar to Mario Kart, but Nintendo persuaded him anyways, said make the game, we want you to make that game, and so he did. And you know what? He did a superb job. He really put so much of his heart and soul into this video game, and I'm very grateful for that. But people also have to give Nintendo credit too for requesting that he make this game, and they got to give Nintendo credit for heavily marketing this game and choosing not to give any updates for Mario Kart World. I mean, they probably have DLC ready for that game, but they're not going to say anything yet because they want this game to be the main focus. They want this game to be the system seller. They want this to be the killer app that everybody gets. And if this game does pretty well with a few million copies sold, and the sales kind of dwindle a little bit, I have no doubt that Nintendo's going to persuade Masahiro Sakurai to just add more content, even if it's free content, anything to renew people's interest and get more people to buy this game, whether it's extending the adventure mode, adding new characters, new tracks, even a second, you know, city trial to play in. I'm pretty sure they're gonna do something. They're definitely gonna have a lot that they can add. More, you know, customizable options for the vehicles and whatnot, because, you know, even more options for like the hats. There's not really that many hats. There's a good amount, but they can definitely add more hats. I would like to see like a Centurion helmet, maybe like, you know, like a soldier helmet or whatever, like what they wear whenever they go to war, you know, something like that, like a jar head. I don't know what they call it, but you know what I'm talking about. They definitely could add more. They could add more power-ups and abilities, like some, you know, like plasma machine gun or something. There's already a lot in this game. There's already a lot, and just adding more will definitely get people more excited. It will renew people's interest in the game. That's a good way to, you know, let people know, hey, we got this one game out here you may not have heard of yet, and we're adding even more content to it. So let's hope they do that. Masahiro Sakurai, he didn't say that he was not going to do anything more with this video game. He only said he wasn't planning on adding DLC because he put everything into this game as much as he could. But he didn't definitively say he wasn't going to add any more to the game. People have to realize that. So, you know, if he ends up doing that, it's not like he, you know, was lying. He just said he wasn't planning on it. But that could always change, because Nintendo could say, hey, people really love this game. We want more people to get invested in it. How about you add some more? We'll give you a budget. You can add more to it, and you know, it could be free DLC, or it could be like, you know, very low price DLC, like $10 to get all these extra stuff and whatnot. Really hope that happens, because this is definitely a game that deserves more support. It deserves to be, it deserves that level of treatment that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe got, that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate got. It definitely deserves it with everything that it has, and you know, they definitely owe it to the fans of this series and all of the new potential fans that it's going to gain. So anyways, that's about it, guys. Y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments below, about how successful this game seems to be so far, and how many do you think it has sold at this point? How many do you think it's going to sell within this year? You know, how many copies of this game will be sold once the year is over? How much do you think it could potentially do in its lifetime? And do you think there will be DLC added to it in the future? Do you think they will continue to breathe more life into this game as it continues to sell over the years? Anyways, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Take care and have a good one. I will talk to you all later.